Hi everyone, my name is Erica Cruz and I'm here today to train you on the functions of behavior. So, what is behavior? Behavior is anything a person says or does that is observable and measurable. Now, I'll be going into detail about problem behavior since it's something that we see a lot when it comes to the autistic population. So, what exactly is problem behavior? Problem behavior in applied behavioral analysis can be defined as behavior that interferes with an individual's ability to access reinforcement or that may result in harm to the individual or others. Problem behaviors are targeted for intervention in ABA therapy because they can significantly impact an individual's quality of life and limit their ability to participate in daily activities. So, we want to help these individuals decrease those undesirable behaviors and learn new skills that are appropriate and helpful. So, why do certain behaviors occur? Well, it's important to know that all behaviors are reinforced by something. And in ABA, we believe that there are four functions that control behavior, which are the following: escape, attention, tangible, and sensory. So, what do these things mean? Escape is a behavior that is maintained by the removal of an aversive stimulus. Escape is behavior that is reinforced by the termination of an aversive stimulus. Attention is a behavior that is maintained by the delivery of social reinforcement, such as attention, praise, or reprimands. Tangible is a behavior that is maintained by access to a desired item or activity. And lastly, sensory is a behavior that is maintained by automatic sensory reinforcement, such as sensory stimulation or self stimulation. And a great way to remember the four functions of behavior is EATS, EATS. Okay, so how do we determine the function of behavior? Well, we like to use an antecedent behavior consequence chart, or we can also say an ABC chart. And this is a great tool to figure out why a behavior is occurring because we can write down exactly what happens before the behavior occurred, which is the antecedent. We can write what the behavior is, so what did the student or child do, and the consequence of what happened right after the behavior occurred. Um, this is an example of an ABC chart. So here we can see it says antecedent, behavior, and consequence. So this is an example of a behavior where the function is attention. So if you look here, the first box says Tom is cooking. That is the antecedent. If you look at the antecedent here, Tom is cooking dinner. He is not talking to Ethan or providing him with any attention at all. As a response, Ethan jumps off the couch, and that is the behavior that occurs, is jumping off the couch. And lastly, the consequence is that Tom tells Ethan to stop. So here, Tom is responding or talking to Ethan. So we can say that Ethan's behavior is being reinforced because Tom is providing him with verbal attention. So in ABA, what we like to do is extinction. We like to put behaviors on extinction because we really do believe that if we don't provide any attention to a behavior, then we will see a decrease in it. So, what is extinction? Extinction in ABA is a behavior intervention technique that involves removing the reinforcement that is maintaining a problem behavior with the goal of reducing and eliminating the unwanted behavior. So, this means that when the behavior no longer results in the desired outcome, such as attention or access to a preferred item, the behavior will eventually decrease or stop altogether. So here are the four different extinction procedures based on the four functions of behavior, along with some examples for you. So extinction of attention maintained behavior This involves ignoring a behavior that is maintained by attention. When the individual engages in problem behavior, they are not giving any attention at all. So, which over time should lead to a reduction in problem behavior. So, an example of extinction of attention maintained behavior would be a child who whines for attention from their parent. Uh, the parent can practice ignoring the whining and only provide attention when the child asks for it in an appropriate manner. So the second one is extinction of escape maintained behavior. This involves not allowing an individual to escape from a situation or task that they find aversive or difficult. When the individual engages in problem behavior in an attempt to escape, they are not allowed to escape, which over time should lead to a reduction in the behavior. An example of this would be a student who throws their book on the floor when asked to complete a difficult math problem. The teacher can practice not allowing the student to leave the task until it is complete, while also providing support or breaks if needed. The third one is extinction of tangible maintained behavior. This involves not providing access to a desired item or activity that is reinforcing the problem behavior. So, when the individual engages in problem behavior in an attempt to access the item or activity, it is not provided, which over time should lead to a reduction in the behavior. And an example of this would be a child who throws a tantrum in the store to get a toy. The parent can practice not purchasing the toy while also providing alternative activities or items to engage the child. And lastly, extinction of sensory maintained behavior. This involves not allowing an individual to receive sensory stimulation from engaging in problem behavior. When the individual engages in the problem behavior to receive sensory stimulation, the stimulation is not provided, which over time should lead to a reduction in the behavior. An example of this would be a child who repeatedly flicks the lights on and off to receive visual stimulation. The parent can practice not providing the child stimulation while also providing alternative sensory activities or items to engage the child. It's important to note that extinction should always be implemented carefully and under the guidance of a trained professional to ensure safety and effectiveness. So, I want to kind of talk about what follows along with extinction. It is important to know that along with extinction can come extinction bursts can come. So, extinction bursts are an increase in the frequency, intensity, or duration of a behavior when the reinforcement for that behavior is suddenly removed. In other words, when the behavior no longer produces the desired outcome, the individual or child may increase the behavior temporarily in an attempt to get the reinforcement back. For example, if a child who screams for attention no longer receives attention when they scream, they may scream even louder or longer initially as they try to regain the attention they were previously receiving. It's important to note that extinction bursts are normal and an expected part of the extinction process and should not be seen as a sign of failure. It's important to remain consistent in not reinforcing the behavior during the extinction process and to provide alternative, more appropriate ways for the individual to receive the reinforcement they were seeking through the problem behavior. So, over time, the behavior should eventually decrease or stop altogether. So, again, it is really important to not feel discouraged if you see an increase in a behavior while you are going through the extinction process. So, do not give up. So, like I previously mentioned, it is a, a great thing to do here would be to teach replacement behaviors. Um, So, replacement behaviors in ABA are alternative and socially appropriate behaviors that are taught to replace problem behaviors. The goal of teaching replacement behaviors is to provide the individuals with more effective ways of achieving the same reinforcement that was previously obtained through the problem behavior. In ABA, we like to call this DRA, or differential reinforcement of alternative behaviors. DRA is a behavior change technique used in ABA to decrease problem behavior by reinforcing alternative, more appropriate behaviors. This alternative behavior should serve the same function or purpose as the problem behavior. For example, if a child engages in hitting to get attention, DRA could be used to teach the child to ask for attention appropriately as an alternative behavior. The child would be reinforced for asking the attention appropriately, while hitting would not be reinforced, resulting in a decrease in hitting behavior over time. Another example of DRA could be teaching a child to use words to request a break instead of engaging in problem behaviors, such as throwing objects or leaving the classroom without permission. Another example of DRA could be if a learner or child is in the classroom and engages in shouting out behavior or calling out behavior. An alternative technique would be to teach them to raise their hand. And the list goes on and on with teaching alternative and replacement behaviors. So I hope you found this video helpful and informative about the functions of behavior, extinction, and teaching replacement behaviors. I gave you a lot of information here, so please do not hesitate to ask any questions or provide me with feedback or comments. Thank you for your time. And here are my references.